this is Catherine. So today I want to talk to you about empathy, what it is and why it's important. So let's start with why it's important. So empathy is important because it enables us to experience what other people are going through. It allows us to, if you like, visit their reality. And that is such a powerful key to developing our own brilliance, because by being able to visit other people's realities, we get to learn so much without having to necessarily go through those experiences personally. We can get to experience what they've experienced and figure out, if nothing else, we get to learn what it is that might work for us, and what we don't really need to look at any further because that doesn't work for us. Or we get to learn more about the things that we are interested in. In other words, empathy enables us in many ways to not have to reinvent the wheel, because we can learn from, the wheels that other people have invented. So that is why empathy is important, because it's such a key to learning and to accessing our own brilliance. Now, the interesting thing about empathy is that most people think of empathy as being able to feel what other people feel. And that's certainly one kind of empathy. But there's actually at least three. There's three that I'm aware of. There's three that I work with. If you think of more, please let me know in the comments down below. And anyway, so let's go through what these three are. So the first one is, that emotional empathy, that being able to feel what somebody else is feeling. So to be able to know if they've had a rough day, to know how they're feeling when they're having a hard time. Now that's really important because it enables us to support them. But of course, emotional empathy also includes being able to share other people's joy, to share their excitement and their inspiration. That's really cool, because being able to share that positive emotion enables us to have that mutual expansion that is one of the key joys of intuition. So that's the first kind of empathy, is emotional empathy. So the second kind of empathy is actually cognitive empathy. So cognitive empathy isn't so much about being able to feel what other people are feeling. It's about understanding what they're thinking, specifically how they think, actually. So specifically understanding that other people have got different values, and that gives them a different set of priorities, and that informs their thinking. So when somebody has different values to you, then they're going to, as I said, have different priorities. So sometimes when people are clearly making different choices to you, they're not making time for the things that you think are important, sometimes it's because they have different values. Now, the more that we can understand what their values are, how they think, what their priorities are, the more that we can learn to work with our values and with theirs. And that's really important, because it means that neither of us then have to give up our values, which of course is really important if we're going to choose to be brilliant. Now, both of those are really important, both emotional empathy and cognitive empathy. They enable us to have really healthy relationships in this present moment. But of course, going forward, when we are actually going forward, we're looking at a third type of empathy, which is aspirational empathy. Aspirational empathy is, exactly what it sounds like. It means being able to appreciate what other people aspire to. Because some people may aspire to, a quiet life, or, a very domestic life, and that's a lovely thing. Other people may aspire to a more kind of glamorous kind of life, or, a life that involves a whole lot of international travel. Of course, perhaps, other people aspire to having a bit of both in their life. But my point is that even if we have similar values, sometimes the way we want to express that or the things that we want to create because of that can be very different. And that is such a big part of the abundance of life and how we can co-create the future to create that mutually expansive future that, that intuition is such a powerful tool for helping us create. So those 3 kinds of empathy are really important, and all of them inform our intuition. So think about them. Let me know down below if you've experienced these different kinds of empathy, or if you can think of other kinds of empathy. I'd love to hear about those. So keep working with those 3 kinds of empathy, and until next time, choose to be brilliant.